savings at HighVDeals.com. By University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Honda, to see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. And by Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit IALottery.com for details. Now, here is your host, Rob Brooks.
Well, the Hawks have moved up to number 12 in the latest AP poll. All that fueled by a big-time 94-85 victory at Michigan in front of Michigan's fourth largest women's basketball crowd in school history, over 10,731. Of course, the Hawks was a really team victory, a team effort. Had 4 players in double figures. Caitlin Clark had 28 plus 17 points off the Iowa bench. Now the Hawkeyes are 12-4 and 4-1 in Big Ten play with 2 home games at Carver Hawkeye Arena this week. Northwestern on Wednesday at 6:30, and then Penn State on Saturday morning at 11:30. We welcome everybody to Bumps for Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. We've got a special show for you tonight as Coach Bluder will be here for the first half hour or so. And then McKenna Warnock, who has been on a tear from three-point range, will join us the back half of the show. Really appreciate her coming out. It was great to have Monica and Kate Martin with us last week. So if you have questions for McKenna, either on the network or here in person, we certainly invite you to ask, and we'll have a lot of fun all the way up till 7 o'clock. Just some of the high points from the victory against Michigan. You have to go back to February 22nd, 2014, the last time that Iowa won in Ann Arbor. Of course, don't play every single year, but certainly has been a while. Very difficult place to play, and it was a tough environment on Saturday afternoon as well. And, of course, Caitlin Clark continued her outstanding play. There's got to be something about the baskets at the Chrysler Center that the Hawks love, and especially Caitlin has scored now 20 or more points for the 15th time this season, and has extended her streak of scoring in double figures to 68 games. That's an NCAA Division I best right now. And, you know, the thing we've been talking about the last couple of weeks as well is her three-point shooting. She's made a three-pointer in now 35 straight games and has hit at least 1 3 in 76 career games, and also made her 100th free throw of the year. And then McKenna Warnock, we talk about her outstanding three-point shooting, 13 of 18 the last 3 ball games. Huh? Love to hear that, huh? That's not a bad number, Coach, huh?
Not a bad number at all.
You came in on a high note right there,
I sure did. Run a little bit late today, but
no problem.
No, McKenna's going to join us later in the show, and she has just been playing fabulous. In fact, you know, last game, her adjusted field goal percentage shooting was 86%. That was the highest on the team. 4 for 7 from the field, but 4 for 6 from three-point range. A perfect 2 for 2 from the line. Had 2 0 boards, 2 steals in that game, 14 points. Just doing a really, really good job for us. And had a really tough defensive assignment in that game, too, being assigned, Emily Kaiser, who really is one of their best players on that team. We went to a lot of zone, played a lot of zone in that basketball game, but she did a great job in both those areas as well.
Well, take a step back. Obviously, a tough loss at Illinois, and then no midweek game. I suppose a lot of times you'd like to get right back on the court, but had some time. Just kind of walk me through the week, how that looked like, and what your preparation was, because this team really looked like it was well prepared, ready to play on Saturday.
Yeah, we did have the one extra prep day. We gave them 2 days off, and this time of year you don't often get 2 days off in a week. You're usually practicing or playing 6 days a week, so I just felt like we were really tired in Illinois. That was our 7th straight day. And I just feel like we kind of needed a little bit of a rest. And so sometimes, with a veteran team, rest can be the best thing for them. So we did take Monday, I believe Monday and Wednesday off last week. Can't remember exactly what day it is anymore. But we did have the extra prep day for Michigan, and I think that did help us prepare for them. And now this week, having 2 home games against Northwestern and Penn State, we're kind of back into that 2-game routine for a little bit.
Yeah, kind of a strange time so early in the Big Ten season not to have a midweek game.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it just because, you don't really want your bye early in the year because you want it later in the year when you're getting a little bit worn down, a little bit knocked up. But at the same time, there's no school too. And so basically, I'd really would rather them, be playing basketball than sitting around. And so I think it was not a great time, but I think we used it to the best of our ability.
4 players in double figures. You talked about that on the post-game show. What a great sign that is. And then to get some production off the bench as well with 17 points, 50 paint points. We'll talk about some of the percentages here in a little bit about in close because I thought it was a big part of this basketball game. But boy, the consistency. You look at your shooting percentages by quarter, 53, 56, 52, and then 81 in the fourth quarter. Hey, you're going to win some games doing that, right?
If you shoot 81% in the fourth quarter, you're going to win a lot of games. 3 for 4 from 3-point range as well. And, we really did a good job of getting to the free throw line. We got there 18 times, and we made 17 out of 18, 94%. So this was just a really, really terrific offensive game. But we needed to have that because Michigan is so deadly offensive. They have the 3-headed monster as well with Emily Kaiser and Layla Felia and Leah Brown. And those 3 all, reached nearly 20 points, 2016 and 19. Those 3 are so deadly. But we did a good job on everybody else. And again, when we're shooting offensively like that, it's pretty hard to beat anybody. Going on the road and putting up 94 points is really, really good.
I was concerned that Felia might go for 50 there that first quarter with 14 points and then only scored 1 basket the rest of the game.
Yeah, it just was crazy. She came out and she hit a couple of threes, which she traditionally doesn't do. And we were sagging off of her on purpose because she's usually been such a good driver, get to the free throw line type of person. And then, of course, she goes and hits a couple threes on us. We have to change up how we're defending her a little bit and have to deny her a little bit harder. But then, like you say, the rest of the way, 2 points. So that's how, sometimes you get in that zone, right? And you just want to keep going back to that person.
And you talk about zones. That was a big part of this game, I thought. Really active on the perimeter, did some doubling, really seemed to disrupt Michigan, who obviously, as you talked about, can shoot the 3, but also have plenty of players that like to get to the rim. Yeah,
last year we played zone against them at our place, and we did that predominantly because they had Naz Hillman inside, and we had to double her. We had to bring something at her. We were going into this game thinking, we'll play a little bit of both, and we ended up playing a lot more zone than we did player, and it was a better defense for us. We track that on the bench. Every possession we track. Did we stop them? Was it a 2? Was it a 3? Was it a foul? Was it an offensive rebound? And Catherine Reynolds, our director of player development, keeps track of all that. And at every timeout break, she's always giving me the numbers on where we are with that. And so, we kind of get a feel. Sometimes you're surprised, by those numbers. So, she does a great job with that. Another thing I thought we did a really good job of was the offensive boards. We got 18 second chance points in this game, and that's something that we don't often get is that many second chance points. We were getting the basketball, the rebound, and bringing it out and getting threes from it. And so that is, you only have 7 offensive rebounds, but you get 18 points. That's good production off your offensive numbers.
And there were some Hawk fans there, too. Molly Davis had to have a pretty good contingent and thought she did a nice job.
Yes, Molly Davis did a great job coming off the bench. In fact, she shot 3 for 4, 75%, 2 for 2 from the line, had a couple rebounds for us, 4 assists, 0 turnovers, 8 points. Her plus-minus was 14, which was second highest on the team. I thought she did a really good job. And, she took a tough spill in the first half. I didn't know if she was going to come back in, but Molly Davis is one tough individual. individual. She is just a tremendous player, playing both the off guard and the point guard for us. Plays over 20 minutes a game for us, is so valuable, and really glad to see her go home. Have a lot of people there, cheering her on from her hometown. Her parents were there, and be able to have such a good game. Also Raina Harmon is from our assistant coach. Raina Harmon is from that area. Our video person, Ben Lober, is from Michigan. Our athletic trainer, Andrea, is from Michigan. So we got a couple of Michigan connections, and they brought everybody they could think of, I think.
Well, I heard a few "Let's Go Hawks," especially there at the end, which was great.
Wasn't that fun at the end? Yeah, that was great at the end. They galvanized and really gave a great chant at the end.
Yeah, I've only seen it happen a few times, but anytime, any venue at Michigan, when they start to head to the exits a little bit early,
gotta love it.
I don't mind that.
No. They had such a great crowd, 10,700 people. I mean, they were lined up. We get there over an hour and a half before the game, and they were already lined up to get in. So great crowd. First women's game ever on Fox television. So that was really fun and exciting, to be a part of that. But what I think really helps, though, is we're used to playing in front of larger crowds. Not everybody is. Sometimes, I think it really helped us, and I don't know if it helped them or not. I'm not sure. Right. Yeah. Numbers certainly bear that out. And going back and looking at the shot chart, your paint production was outstanding. Outside of the semicircle, 80%, and inside of that, 72% versus Michigan. The same two categories, 44 and 58. You had about the same looks, but got more production out of shots in the paint. 50 paint points. You're never going to argue with that. Now, of course, we all know Monica gets a lot of those at 7 for 9 from the field. But also, we got some takes to the basket. Kate Martin got in there. Caitlin got in there. Molly got in. So we had some nice takes to the basket as well for our guards. Good guard penetration that got us to the rim. Yeah, and you shoot 18 free throws and do a great job there. And Michigan just gets to the line 7 times, but you seem to have that lead. It was 9-11 and got to 14, and that was the big lead early on in the fourth quarter. And then, as good teams do, make a little bit of a run, and then it got down to 5 with a little over 30 seconds left to go, but got the ball in the right hands, made free throws, and took care of business. Yeah, well, in that second quarter, we're down 10 points, and I had to call a timeout about the 7-minute mark. That's a little bit scary. I think it was actually we're down 8 when we called the timeout. We go down 10, and then all of a sudden we go on about a 10-0 scoring run on them and actually take the lead into the locker room. So our team really responded well to that. After being down 2 in the first quarter, we end up going up 4 into the halftime. Yeah, and how about Kate Martin in that third quarter? You talk about Thelia's 14 in the first. Kate has 10 in the third. Yeah, you're right. I mean, she came out of that halftime really ready to play, and she's so strong going to the basket. And I don't know, just had a little something different look in her eye at the beginning of that third quarter that was really fun to see. Might have been that bounce pass in between the defender's legs. Somebody said she had 2. I know she had 1, but somebody said she had 2. She had actually had a bounce pass to Monica between the players' legs, and then Monica gives it right back to Kate as she went in for the layup. It was awesome. That should have been on SportsCenter. Yeah, it should have been, because it ended up being a 3-point play. She got fouled on that as well. So a terrific job. And that's, as we talked, that's what you need. Where's that third scorer? Where's that fourth scorer that's really going to step up and then to get the bench production? And we had 4 of them, plus Molly Davis, really came close as well. And then Gabby hit a huge three-pointer right in front of your bench there. That was big time in the fourth quarter. 2 for 4 from three-point range. Nice to see Gabby, getting back on track a little bit. And we just got to keep that upward ascension with her three-point shooting. Just like to see her getting a little bit more comfortable here. Coach, a game like this, because you figure not a ton of teams are going to win at Michigan, maybe the very upper echelon, but most will walk away with an L. It almost feels like maybe a win and a half in this league at this stage, because it's a tough place to play. Well, it's a top 20 win, which is always good, too, for RPI points and for the selection committee at the end of the year. To get a top 20 road win is, difficult to do, so we're, glad in that area. Obviously, it propelled us up in the rankings to 12th again today. The women's poll comes out tomorrow. The coaches poll comes out tomorrow, so we don't know about that one yet. But Yeah, I mean, it was good for it. It felt good too. It felt like a good team victory, and going into that type of environment, I think this is what it's going to take to really kind of propel us and really get us rolling.
Yeah, a road victory. All the accolades that you talked about, but having to play really well consistently has to be one of the keys that you take going forward.
It really does. We've been kind of looking for this kind of performance and really felt like we got it at Michigan. You go back to the Illinois loss. I mean, again, Illinois went up to 24 in the polls today. That is a good basketball team. They gave Ohio State everything Ohio State, who's ranked third in the country, they could ask for at Ohio State. So that's a very, very good basketball team. And, I think when it's all said and done, looking back on it, that's not going to be a terrible loss for us, but certainly one we would have liked to have gotten.
If you want to join in the conversation, we've got Coach Bluder for a little while longer. Then, of course, McKenna Warnock, one of the Hawkeye stars, here to join us on the second half of the show. 1-877-464-2957. 1-877-464-2957 if you want to join in the conversation, or if you have a question here at Bumps, feel free as well. Hawkeye basketball brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light proudly welcomes back Hawkeye fans to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Bud Light is for the fans. Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, presented by Oaknaw, continues after the break on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
You mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help you make them. Whether it's hauling presents in a capable Ridgeline, going sledding in an adventurous Pilot, or traveling in a rugged Passport or CR-V. Make memories during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer.
New Hondas are arriving daily at your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
See dealer for financing details.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now, kids can eat free.
When you're in the eastern Iowa area, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, the Jill Armstrong team, Wisconsin Realty, the area's premier realtor, and Options Exteriors, your preferred local roofing and exterior company. Jill Armstrong and her team strive to make every buyer and seller at ease with the real estate process. Contact the Jill Armstrong team, Wisconsin Realty, for all of your real estate needs. Call 319-631-5455.
Welcome back to Bumps at Finkpine. Monday Night Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. Great crowd on hand and a lot of delicious food being served right now. So we appreciate Bumps having us back once again this year. We talked about the big victory against Michigan being a top 15 victory. Michigan still in the top 26 teams from the Big Ten, now in the AP top 25. Ohio State, as Coach talked about, number 3. Indiana at 6. Maryland has slipped into the top 10 at number 9. Hawks are at 12. Michigan at 17. And then Illinois, as you mentioned, in 24th place right now. And I think I read where it's been since 2000. that Illinois has been in the top 25.
Oh, yeah. Back when Teresa Grants was the coach, right. When I first came here, Illinois was one of the better teams in the conference. Them and Penn State were one of the better teams in the conferences, as well as obviously Purdue every year.
That's a drought, but Illinois playing good basketball. Let's head to the phones, and Anthony checking in from Des Moines. Anthony, how are you this Monday evening?
Pretty good, Bob. Coach, how you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Doing very well, thank you.
Coach, congratulations on your win against Michigan over this past weekend. Actually, it's been a good win for not only the women's basketball, the men's basketball, and the Iowa wrestling as well. Question I have for you, Coach, and I do have a question for your players here later on tonight, if I could. Question is for you, Coach. What has changed much compared to this win here with the Illinois game? What has improved a lot in that game on Michigan Saturday?
Just the improvement through the week from game to game. Did you feel like you saw some during the week, or just happened to play better?
I think a little bit of both. I think that we had a little bit of growth last week. I thought we had 3 really good practices leading up to this game, very focused practices. Obviously when you shoot the ball that well, I mean, it covers
Makes
up.
Makes it fun, doesn't it?
It sure does. It sure does. It brings you so much energy, even on the defensive side. So, I think that, we did a good job, of course, at in all areas of the shooting, 2, 3, and free throws. I love the balance that we saw in this game. It was such a mentally focused game. You have to, when you're going on the road and you're playing in front of that many people and it's that loud. Honestly, it was so loud sometimes I could hardly talk in the huddles. It was very loud. That takes a lot of mental maturity on the players' part, and I thought they just handled that situation really, really well.
Well, I think, Coach, you mentioned the second quarter, which was key. It looked like when you got down 8, called that timeout. Okay, you're not necessarily on the ropes, but the crowd is
off on them. They've been right there in so many games, and this is a team that really returned a lot of people except for one key person, and that was Burton, who went on to the WNBA and played in the big league this summer. But besides that, all these players were there last year, and they are, we're talking about 2 seniors at the point guard and off guard position, and then 2 juniors and a sophomore in here, and their sophomore is the one that's really playing well for them. Walsh is the power forward, and Sydney Wood is the senior that's playing the off guard. That's their second leading scorer, and I have to tell you, it's kind of funny because Sydney Wood, being a senior, she's actually a grad student, and she's actually in a group with my daughter, who is also a grad student at Northwestern, and so they are partners in a group project. So it's been kind of odd, I go by Hannah's computer and see Sydney Wood on there, and see her at Big Ten Media Day and such. So, but great kid, and she's their second leading scorer this year and one of their top offensive rebounders as well. And so anyway, it's a team that's not that different from last year, but it is different. It's kind of funny how one person really made that much of an impact on this team.
They've had some players the last few years, haven't they?
They have had some really good players, and Veronica Burton was certainly one of the best. Won many Defensive Player of the Year awards in our conference, and Joe runs this matchup zone defense that's kind of different. It's really not that different from us, but he calls it a different name and sells it, and so it's different, and he's got to promote it. But she was really a key cog in that, and having been there for 4 years and playing 4 years, she knew it so well. And now they have somebody new in that position, Sydney Wood, and it's a little bit tough when somebody new has to step into that role.
Yeah, so they're still playing the same defenses we're used to.
The Blizzard defense, as Joe calls it. They are still playing it, but not as much because it hasn't been as successful this year. So they are really now, they were playing their Blizzard defense like 80-90%. Now it's about 65%, and the rest is player to player.
And of course, Tangela Smith is the associate head coach, a great Iowa player, great WNBA player, so she's still on Joe's staff as well.
Yeah, somebody that is in our Hall of Fame here at the University of Iowa, and probably should have her jersey retired at the University of Iowa one of these days, because Tangela Smith was a great Hawkeye from Chicago, and she's back home here at Northwestern and just doing a great job recruiting for them.
Yeah, and that one of the questions we had a couple of weeks ago, we didn't have a chance to get to it last week, was about retired numbers. Number one, is there going to be more soon?
Yeah.
And then number two kind of brought up the point, okay, this number 22's have been pretty special for you over the last few years with Sam Logic and Kathleen Doyle, and obviously now Caitlin Clark. What do you do when you have three great players, and maybe there's more, that have worn the same number?
Right, and maybe somebody's going to come in and keep that tradition going. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
But, there is a certain requirements for a jersey to be retired at Iowa, and there's also the jersey retired, and there's another name for it. It's like the uniforms retired, and there's two different levels, and that's why I think there's different colors. There's white jerseys in the arena, and there's gold jerseys, and I can't remember the difference right now. I'll try to figure it out again. But there are certain levels that you have to reach, and so we need to look into our record books and check that out.
There's always a certain a waiting period. A lot of schools I know have a waiting period. Okay, well, once you graduate, then it's maybe 5 years.
Yeah, and we didn't have that because Megan's was retired the very next year. And Tangela had a great career at Iowa, but she had a spectacular career was in the WNBA.
Great pro,
14 years in the WNBA and playing overseas. 14 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, and that's always an interesting criteria too. It's obviously what you do at the school.
Right.
But boy, if you're a really good player at the school and you go on to even greater things, I mean, that counts too.
It should, yeah.
That was a question we had because I thought it was interesting with the three really good number 22s that you've had here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
Well,
all three of them are All-Americans.
Yeah, we had that question here, so that's tough. But that's a good problem to have, isn't it?
It's a great problem to have.
Number 22. So Northwestern on Wednesday, and then Penn State on Saturday morning.
Kind of a strange time.
11:30. A team that can score. I know we haven't dove into them yet.
Right. I haven't. I get through the game, not over the. I get through the game, and about a half an hour after the game is over, we start on the next opponent. But now, who has Penn State? The coach that has that scout. They've been watching games, and they've watched 4 or 5 games, so they can have this report ready for me as soon as that game is over. And so, it really is efficient, and we'll be ready for them. But 11:30, I don't think I've ever played an 11:30 game. We played an 11 o'clock game this year when we played UConn, but 11:30. Penn State's going to bring a little bit of a zone, and also going to bring press, a little bit of a press. They play a little bit crazy, like really force a lot of turnovers and that sort of thing. So also, I just want to, Darren Miller, he's worked for us for a long time. He worked for us. His dad is 82 years old
Came out to celebrate today. Yeah, yesterday, birthday, celebrating today.
Back, where are you? Back in the corner.
Yep, Wes is back there.
Wes is 82 years young today, man. Looking good. Happy birthday.
Yeah, great to see Darren, and brought his family out and enjoying a Hawk Talk here on a Monday night. Where else would you want to be?
That's right. Thanks for everybody coming out. Man, we've had just such great attendance, and appreciate Bumps, hosting us. I know McKenna's going to take over the last half an hour, and I really like that because I like it when you get to know our players. Our players are so special, and when you get to know them off the court, you want to support them even more. And McKenna's certainly one of those. Man, what a career she's had. Oh boy, 4 years, and now she's off to become a dentist, and going to do a great job in that career. Academically, all Big Ten, all everything. Just had such a special career, so I'm really excited for everybody to get to know her a little bit better.
But more basketball to play, right?
Oh, more. The best is yet to come.
We got a few months, right?
The best is yet to come.
Well, Coach, appreciate it, and we'll let you go, and then we'll bring McKenna in here and finish off the show. And
Wednesday
great
night,
to talk about her.
Wednesday night, 6:30. Let's
betcha.
go Hawks.
We'll be there.
Thank you.
The Wildcats and the Hawkeyes on Wednesday night. And don't forget that next week we'll be here for Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. as we'll be right back here at Bumps, and this show presented by Oaknall. Oaknall, located off of Benton Street in Iowa City, just a few blocks away from Carver Hawkeye Arena and the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics. Oaknall is a life plan community for those 62 years of age and older, want to stay active and enjoy their retirement years. Give Steve Rowe a call at 319-351-1720. That's 319-351-1720. Get your personal tour, or you can also log on to their website, www.oaknall.com, to learn more. And we'll be back with one of the Hawkeye stars, McKenna Warnock, as Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder, presented by Oaknall, continues after the break. This is the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
At Cenex, we're locally owned and operated, so your community is our community. That's why your Cenex goes far beyond the store. We fuel community connections by supporting local festivals, restoring town monuments, and renovating baseball fields. Now in its 4th year, we'll have contributed more than $400,000 to Cenex communities through our Hometown Pride initiative, because community connections make the places we live so special. Cenex, powered locally.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Oh, hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help you make them. Whether it's hauling presents in a capable Ridgeline, going sledding in an adventurous Pilot, or traveling in a rugged Passport or CRV. Make memories during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer.
New Hondas are arriving daily at your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
See dealer for financing details.
When you're in the eastern Iowa area, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, the area's premier realtor. And Options Exteriors, your preferred local roofing and exterior company. Handling all of your exterior needs from roofing, siding, windows, and gutters. They've got you covered. Providing free damage inspections and help filing insurance claims. Call 319-343-6376.
Back to Bumps as the Hawkeyes won 7 of their last 8, and we'll be joined by McKenna Warnock, who's put together another outstanding season, shooting 50% from the floor, almost 45% from 3, 87% from the free throw line, averaging almost 6 rebounds per contest to go along with her 12.3 average, and also has dished out 33 assists. And sorry, we interrupted your dinner there, huh?
No, it's good. I'm glad to be here.
No, I appreciate it, McKenna. And boy, I started off, I always remember the commemorative ball you got for going over 1,000 points and the 600 rebounds for your career. It's not an easy thing to do, a great accomplishment. And How'd you feel with that recognition and obviously with the great crowd at Carver cheering you on?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I think we had, 12,000 at that game too. So it was a great game to have it at. Super, awesome, I guess, just through the 4 years. It's been great being a Hawkeye. And then I guess after those games, seeing Monica and Caitlin do the 2,000, that's even cooler. So
yeah, it's kind of interesting and fun to have three of you with well over 5,000 points in your careers. That's a lot, and you're a terrific rebounder as well. And obviously, the Michigan game just had to be a lot of fun for you too. Just a great team win, and as Coach Bluder was talking about, what can a game like that kind of do for not only the rest of this month, but throughout the season?
Right. I mean, any road game on the Big Ten is difficult, obviously, as we saw with Illinois, but there was a great crowd there. Great to go get that win out there. I think what they said 6 years it's been since we've won there. 5 years?
At least.
At
least. I
least.
saw on TV it was 2014, I think.
Right.
Last time.
Which, they're an amazing team. So it was definitely good confidence boost going into 2023. So.
Well, if you have a question for McKenna here at Bumps or, of course, on the network, 1-877-464-2957. And Anthony, I think, lost a connection and had a question for McKenna. Anthony, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, Bob.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, McKenna. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I really enjoyed the win over Michigan over this past weekend. Congratulations on that game. 2 questions I have for you, McKenna. During your shoot-arounds, what type of music do you usually listen to? Or do you have your own music to listen to through your shoot-arounds to practice and all that? And what future do you have ahead of you as you prepare to do for Iowa? I don't know what year you are right now. I don't know if you're a senior or not, but what's your future as you're going to be preparing for Iowa?
Yeah, so I guess for our pregame,
who gets to choose the music for shoot-around?
it depends. Sometimes it's Caitlin, and sometimes it's not great. So I hope she's listening. But
we'll let her know no matter what.
No, I think we kind of do a big variety of stuff. There's one song that Coach Jay specifically talks about. I can't remember the name of it. The song that we always play for you.
Paula Abdul's.
Paula Abdul.
Okay.
Something like
Shoot-around song, right?
I'll sing it for you in a
Yeah.
second. I just got to get the rhythm.
Yeah, so...
you got a week to warm up. We'll get it next week.
That's always a good one, but yeah, we switch it up a lot. Coach Reina plays some good tunes out there too. And then for the second question, I am actually pre-dental, so I apply May 1st, and I'll kind of hear sometime this summer if I get in. So I'm applying to 10 different schools kind of all around the country. Iowa's one of them, so hopefully that will turn out well. So yeah.
Talk about that's a tough major, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple buddies that are dentists, and I know it can be a grueling thing. And it's tough to be able to pick where you want to go to, because it's really, you talk about basketball being competitive. You're jumping into another competitive arena.
Straight up, I got to get into my favorite song. Straight up, do you love me, want to love me?
Me forever.
Okay, yeah. Paula Abdul, yep.
Yep.
Some of the 80s people know that song.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Yep. Tune in next week. We're going to get a verse or two out of her.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it's definitely a competitive field, but I love to be competitive, so
That's right.
I think basketball's helped.
So you've got to take some tests after school then, and that determines whether you get into dental school.
Yep,
somewhere.
so I take the DAT, which is very similar to the MCAT, on January 21st. So coming up really soon, it'll be a 6-hour test. So Coach Bluder let us have the day off for that day. So that's great for her.
Is that something can you study for it, or is it kind of to the point now where you got to have most of the knowledge?
Yeah, a lot of it comes from your undergraduate classes, but I have studied for about 3 months. So through basketball season, but it'll be nice to be over, that's for sure.
Yeah, looming. And you've been shooting the ball so well, especially the last 3 games, 9 of 14, but you're almost at 50% for the season from 3. Kind of walk me through, hey, when you're on a real hot streak, it's got to feel good, and then obviously if you end up having a game or two where you don't shoot as well as you like. Kind of what's your thought process? And then is it just about getting back into the gym and, hey, just working on the fundamentals?
Yeah, definitely. I think I try not to think about it too much either way, just kind of let it fly. Coach Bluder and, my teammates are always really great about picking me up through that. They know that I can knock it down and eventually it'll go in, so just keep shooting. Sometimes it's easier said than done.
Shoot or shoot, right?
Yeah, but shoot or shoot, so that's what I'll try to take from it. But yeah, I guess, always going back to your fundamentals is always a good trick. So getting in the gym and not shooting threes, I guess, for the entire day is kind of what I try to do if I do have off days. But it's definitely helpful.
Hey, you talked about your competitiveness. One play that really sticks out against Michigan was there was like three of you going after a rebound, two Michigan players and you just kind of grabbed it with one hand and kept that possession. And that was, hey, that's what it takes to win ball games, right?
Yeah, whatever it takes. That's what we say all the time. So
got to have that toughness. There's no doubt about it. McKenna Warnock certainly has displayed that, and appreciate her coming on board tonight. And we'll have more conversation with McKenna Warnock after the break. When corn grows fuel, Iowans win. Ethanol is a renewable fuel that's better for our environment, our health, and our wallets. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin, and you could win even more from Iowa corn. Also, Hawkeye basketball brought to you by Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, and has been voted the best of the area for now 10 straight years. Proudly support Iowa women's basketball. Trust Dodge Street Tire for honest auto repair and the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets. More Hawk Talk, presented by Oaknaw, will continue after the break. This is the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
When you're in the eastern Iowa area, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, the area's premier realtor. And Options Exteriors, your preferred local roofing and exterior company. The Hotel Kirkwood, named the Corridor Business Journal's 2022 Best Banquet and Event Venue. And awarded the AAA 4 Diamond Award for lodging. To make reservations, visit thehotelatKirkwood.com or call 877-751-5111 for more information.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now, kids can eat free.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help you make them. Whether it's hauling presents in a capable Ridgeline, going sledding in an adventurous Pilot, or traveling in a rugged Passport or CR-V. Make memories during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer.
New Hondas are arriving daily at your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
See dealer for financing details.
Welcome back to Bumps at Finkbine. As we continue on Hawk Talk, great to have McKenna Warnock join us as she became the 41st Hawkeye to go over 1,000 points and right now ranks 19th all-time in career rebounds and moving up that chart. A lot of basketball left to play this season. The Hawkeyes currently tied for second in the Big Ten. McKenna, how about the recruiting process? Let's go back to your high school days. Obviously a terrific player out of the state of Wisconsin. Did it start early for you as far as contact?
Yeah, I think 7th grade, 8th grade. But Coach Bluder in Iowa, they were always there. So they even came to a couple of volleyball games, which was pretty cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
And was it a tough decision for you as other schools were after you as well? Or did you always feel like this was the place you wanted to be?
I think once I visited here, I had my official visit here. It was, only one of 2 that I took. And so it definitely, changed my perspective completely. I loved it so much. And, it was definitely the coaches, the people, the culture. And specifically Coach Bluder, just in general, just how, great of a person she is, how great she makes her players. And, I just kind of knew right away. My family's from Iowa. My mom is from Muscatine. So she went to Iowa State, so that was a rivalry for sure.
Turned out well this year, right?
I am glad I came here, for sure.
And always fun to go back to play Wisconsin, I'm sure. You got bragging rights, a lot of victories up in Madison.
Yep, lots of victories. I'm definitely glad I came here. So.
Also, we had a question from the audience here about, obviously you've played against a lot of great players, a lot of great teams. Does a player or two stick out that was really a tough player to defend?
There's a lot of great players in the Big Ten. I guess very recently, Naz Hillman was a great player. We played her at Michigan the past couple years, and definitely hard to defend. I think she was actually a 4, but would play the 5. So, yeah, it was, she was amazing, is doing very well. And then I guess even on my team, I've had amazing players to grow up and be around. Kathleen Doyle, one of them, Mackenzie Meyer. They were great. Definitely taught me a lot my first year and kind of showed me how to be competitive for sure. So, yeah.
That's a good point that you make, too, because when you come in as a freshman, obviously Iowa's had really good teams for a long time, and some of your toughest competition could end up in practice.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Yep.
What did some of those players teach you? What was really important, like your freshman year to your senior year, that you had to learn to be really successful at this level?
I think it's just a different sort of confidence. I think, you're always the best in high school, obviously, and you come here and you're surrounded by the best. And it's definitely a different sort of confidence and just learning to, play as a team, play with people's strengths. And then defense, obviously, is a huge thing, and we're still learning it, still going to continue learning it. But that's definitely a huge transition to college basketball. So,
how about, obviously, Carver is your favorite place to play. Other Big Ten arenas or even out of conference that you've played, what's the toughest place that comes to mind, or maybe the most fun place to play away from Iowa City?
Most fun, Indianapolis, of course. Big Ten championships, so that's
Can't forget about those, right?
Yes.
And now Minneapolis this year.
And now Minneapolis.
That could be one of your favorites coming up.
Exactly. I'm excited for that one. Toughest, they're all pretty tough in the Big Ten. I guess one that sticks out is Purdue. I think that,
the fans in the band really close to the court.
Yeah, it's definitely the band. They're pretty rowdy, and They're basically right in the court, so that's a pretty tough place to play. In-state rivalries, always tough. Iowa State's difficult. They always get a great crowd. Drake was packed this year, so that was a tough crowd. But we have great Hawk fans, so we have a lot of fans at most of the places we go anyways.
Yeah, that was fun. I was talking to Coach Bluder about Saturday, where you heard the Let's Go Hawks chant at the end of the game, so a lot of Hawkeyes there and travel very, very well. How about your family? Make it to most games, do what they can?
Yeah, my family actually just moved to Seattle, Washington.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
so that's
a
little harder.
Yeah, a little bit harder. But Portland was a great one for us this year.
Yep.
That was super easy for them to come to. But they've been to a couple. They've tried, so it's been great.
Yep. Know how that goes, and I'm sure there'll be it more, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Because you've got you got Senior Day, and then obviously the Big Ten Tournament and beyond. Attention Hawkeye fans who buy your own health insurance. Wellmark is on your side and the health insurance marketplace. Let's give it up for plans you can afford. Check out wellmark.com/hoops to compare plans. And when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. What connections do you have to corn? A lot of connections translate into wins for farmers and wins for all of Iowans. Share your winning moments using #IowansWin. If you want to slip in a quick question for McKenna Warnock, 1-877-464-2957, or right here at Bumps as we return for our remaining moments of Hawk Talk on the Hawkeye Radio Network presented by Learfield.
Love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
When you're in the eastern Iowa area, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, the Jill Armstrong team, with Skogman Realty, the area's premier realtor, and Options Exteriors, your preferred local roofing and exterior company. Jill Armstrong and her team strive to make every buyer and seller at ease with the real estate process. Contact the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty for all of your real estate needs. Call 319-631-5455.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
You mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Ah, hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now, kids can eat free. Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Just a couple minutes left as Hawk Talk winds down for this Monday evening, and we'll be right back here at Bumps next Monday as Associate Head Coach Jan Jensen will be with us, so we'll certainly look forward to that. And she's committed to singing, so I'm going to show up. I might show up for that one. Okay, we had a question here. Just staying connected with basketball, how important will that be for you as you get into the workforce?
Yes. I mean, basketball has been a part of my life from whenever I can remember. My sister is 9 years older than me, and so I kind of grew up around basketball, going to AAU tournaments. So I can't imagine life basically any other way. And I think, especially here at Iowa, we just have such a close-knit family, and so they are my family. And so it's, I hope that continues after basketball. I know it will continue after basketball. So I'll be at games, of course, be cheering, screaming at the TV, helping out any way I can.
Yeah, lifelong friendships, right?
Yes.
That's what counts.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, appreciate you stopping by and taking the time.
Yeah,
McKenna Warnock. And should be on the hardwood on Wednesday, Iowa and Northwestern. 6:15 for the pregame show, 6:30 the tip. Look forward to that. Thanks to everybody to come out to Bumps tonight. And we'll talk to you along the Hawkeye Radio Network on Wednesday.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this has been Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, presented by Oak Knoll, an active life care community. Also brought to you by Bud Light, it's for the fans. Hy-Vee, score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Honda, to see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. And by Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit IALottery.com for details. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network. On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. Bud Light, it's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hi, everybody, and welcome into another week of Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. What a wild and crazy start to the new year for Iowa basketball. After trailing by 18 at Penn State on New Year's Day, the Hawkeyes roared back in the second half with the ball and a chance to win in the closing seconds, only to fall short by 4. A couple days later, on Thursday, the 40th anniversary of Carver Hawkeye Arena's opening, the Hawks saw Indiana race out to a 21-point first-half lead, but Iowa's defense, a mixture of zones and man, put the Hoosiers in the deep freeze the second half, and the Hawkeyes rallied for a 91-89 victory. Well, yesterday at Rutgers, facing the best defense statistically in the Big Ten, Iowa executed the game plan to near perfection from start to finish in dropping the Scarlet Knights 79-68, sinking 12 three-point goals, half of those from Peyton Sanford, who sank 6 of 7 from the foul line to boot. He had a huge second half, and the Hawks now have won back-to-back Big Ten games to get to two wins and 3 defeats, with Michigan up next Thursday night here in Iowa City, a game you can hear right here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Good evening. As always, I'm joined by Hawkeye and NBA star Bobby Hansen, former Hawkeye and NBA great Bobby Hansen. Coach will join us shortly. We're broadcasting live at the Hyatt Regency and the Edgewater Grill and Bar. You're welcome to join us in person. We're here until 8:30 tonight, answering your questions and comments, both on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. So we hope you'll join us one way or the other, and we try to get to all of our questions or comments for Coach McCaffery. And Bobby, not much to complain about yesterday, I'll tell you.
Oh, it was a good week. Yeah, good day yesterday, no doubt. Had the early game out in Piscataway, New Jersey, 11 o'clock tip Central Time. The kids were ready to go. I thought the game plan was excellent, was solid. They followed it to perfection and got off to a quick start. That was the key to that game right there, Gary. You didn't want to play from behind when you play a grinded-out team like Rutgers, who will D you up, put their hands on you, make it a very physical game, but they had to play catch-up. Hawkeyes win that game going wire to wire, jumped out 8-0.
We talked before about the measuring stick in college basketball. If you can make 10 threes in any game, you got a great chance to win. Iowa made 12.
Shot a high percentage, too. An efficient three-point shooting percentage. Looks like at 45%, almost 12 of 27 they were. And as you said, Peyton Sanford caught fire second half. That was fun to watch. I mean, he was catch and release is what Peyton Sanford was. And guy in his face didn't matter. He didn't see them. All he saw was the bottom of the net. And good to see the smile back on that young man's face. And what I liked was how the guys were loading him up. They knew he had the hot hand, and they were looking for him.
And he wanted to shoot the ball. He's not even couldn't even call it a catch and shoot. Like you said, catch and release. The ball was no more on his fingertips than it was heading toward the basket. He had beautiful arc on it, hit 6 of 8 from the field and 4 of 5 from 3. And he had plenty of help. Chris Murray, of course, made the John Wooden semifinalist list last week, the top 25. Chris had not a pedestrian 17 points, but he moves like Keegan does. Keegan did. Like you don't really notice him. I know the defense is trying to find him, but he is so silky smooth, Bob, from one end to the other.
Yeah, he really is, and efficient as well. We use that term a couple times here tonight, but he was 7 of 11 from the floor, 3 of 7 3-point shooting, 7 rebounds, 17 points, had a couple of steals, a block shot. So, yeah, he is just really coming into his own, Gary, and he's just smooth. As you said, it just glides around there, and yet he can still turn it on. He can chase you down and block a shot from behind, and he's a willing passer. He'll give it up if he's covered, but Big Ten knows that they got another Murray they got to deal with this year after these first 4 games, or first 5 games that the Hawkeyes have been in, as Chris is turning in to be a star.
He sure is, and we talked a lot about Connor McCaffery in the pregame show yesterday. Without Patrick, how critical he was not only against Indiana, but how critical he would be against that man or zone, take your pick, that ball hawking defense of Rutgers. Very, very solid, very legit. Number 1 in the Big Ten. Into yesterday's game, Rutgers giving up 55 points a game. And they say great defense will always beat great offenses. That wasn't the case yesterday anyway, but Connor was so valuable, 6 points, but 8 assists, 8 assists, 8 dimes, and 1 turnover. Spectacular effort. And that's him playing a number of positions.
Yeah, he can play them all, to be honest with you, Gary. And I think when what happens with Connor is Fran trusts him, obviously, with the basketball, so you can take that pressure off of Aaron Eulis or Tony Perkins when they're getting harassed by quick little guards that are up inside your jersey. Connor's probably going to be guarded by a guy that's bigger than he is, or at least similar size, and he's strong with the ball. He can get it up, whether he got to back you down, or he'll get by you a little bit with that left hand. He change of pace, change of direction, type of a ball handler. But that outstanding game for Connor McCaffery. Took a shot in the jaw or the side of the head. So we'll have to ask Coach. Hopefully he's okay here today. Had no lingering effects, and be ready to go on Thursday night.
Now, once again, maybe we saved the best for last, and Philip Rabracha. 16 points, 12 rebounds, his 6th double-double of the year. Bobby, he hit 6 of 9 from the foul line. That's an encouraging sign. But just, I don't want to label it as a dominant performance inside, but every guy he goes against inside in the paint is bigger than he is, certainly taller, and maybe not as tough. And once again, not only did he put forth a supreme effort, but he did it over 40 minutes. He played every minute of the basketball game, and against a bruising, battering team like Rutgers, that's hard to do.
Man, he was beating Big Cliff down the court a lot, and I think one of the key points of that game came early when they fed Phillip on the low right block, and he spun and he picked up the first foul on Murray. So now he's got to be a little bit tentative. But when you look at these stats, kind of a new stat sheet that they give us, Phillip had the 3 fouls, but he drew 6 fouls against him on the defense, and a couple of those on Big Cliff, and really changed the game. But he's going to outwork whoever he lines up against, Gary, and he plays within himself. He doesn't take crazy shots. He's going to hang around the rim. The offensive rebounds, of those 12 rebounds, he had 5 offensive boards, and he doesn't look like he gets tired out there either. So we got a thin bench right now with an injury to Josh Agundale, so you got to kind of mix and match, and Phillip's like, I'll stay out there.
Add in Aaron Eulis and Tony Perkins. Desante Bowen saw the floor for about 5 minutes. Carter Kingsbury played a good stretch there at the end of the first half when Hawks had some foul issues. So it was truly a team effort. And Bobby, when you hold a team like Rutgers to 40% shooting, that's a great defensive effort on your part.
Yeah, it really was. 38% for the game, Gary. 28% from 3, and a couple of them were chucking up late as they were trying to get caught up there. But the Hawkeye defense, we'll have to talk to Coach about it. He's not going to reveal too much about what it is, but the zone, very effective, both against Indiana, who looked like, as in Connor's words, they had never seen a zone defense, and then Rutgers took a little time off the clock trying to figure out what the zone was doing to them there. So when you got a short bench, you got short numbers, good to have that zone in your back pocket. You can drop back, save some time. The 1-2-2, you're taking time off in the backcourt there. The main thing is that you rebound out of it, and the Hawks certainly did that yesterday. Out-rebound Rutgers, 38-36.
Now, this is Coach McCaffery's show, but we're going to have son Connor on here when we come back from our first break here at the Hyatt Regency Coralville Edgewater Bar and Grill as we recap yesterday's victory for the Hawkeyes and look forward to Michigan on Thursday night. More on that with Connor when we come back on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spon & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spon & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spon & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spon & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now, kids can eat free.
Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. We're live at the Hyatt Regency, Coralville's Edgewater Bar and Grill, and we're taking your tweets and your Facebook posts. And right now we're going to invite in and welcome in Iowa basketball guard, forward, post player, water boy. He seemingly does everything for this basketball team, and he did again yesterday. Connor McCaffery joins us live. He's on Zoom. Got a little watch party going on tonight for Georgia and TCU. Did I hear that right, Connor? Oops. Your dad is cringing right here. Yeah, I can see Connor's lips moving, but I'm not hearing anything. So we'll come back to Connor here in just a minute while we're trying to get that connection cleaned up. Let me tell you, submit an interesting question for Coach McCaffery tonight or any week via Twitter at Gary Dolphin or Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, and you could win a $100 gift certificate for Hawkeye gear from Authentic Brand, and we will pick a winner before the show ends this evening. We're here at the Hyatt Regency, Coralville's Edgewater Bar and Grill. Let's see if Connor McCaffery can rejoin us. Connor, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I got you.
I can hear you guys.
Okay, we got you now. We got you now. We could see the lips moving, but nothing coming on the air. But thanks for joining us. Got a watch party going on tonight with the guys, huh?
Yeah, we got some guys over at the house. They're upstairs right now, though, so they shouldn't affect us too much. Hopefully they'll yell.
Recap yesterday. Bobby and I were just talking about yesterday's exhilarating win for the Hawkeyes over Rutgers. How'd you see it from a player's perspective?
Yeah, no, obviously a huge win in every way. Going into that game, I would say we were definitely confident. We knew kind of what we had to do. We've had some good battles with them over the past couple of years, and I was excited going into the game. That's always a fun place to play, and a huge win for us in every way, obviously.
17 assists on 25 made baskets is off the charts. You had 8 of the 17. If there's one thing that keeps occurring and recurring, in my view, it's how you guys distribute the basketball, share the basketball, and everybody knows that Iowa is one of the best in the country at taking care of the basketball. It's clear you guys take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say it's not even like I was that smart. I just kept throwing the ball to Peyton. That was pretty much.
Good point.
That was all I did.
How's your head, my man? That's the number one question here. You took a pretty good shot. You were down there a few minutes on the floor late in the game. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. So my head hurt at the beginning, but then honestly, kind of what really hurt was my jaw.
Gotcha.
Because it was more like my jaw that kind of got clipped than my actual head. Everything hurt at first just because of the blow. But now my head's okay. It's just chewing food's tough.
Connor, what was most impressive to me yesterday was not only building that 12-point lead at halftime, but maintaining it, holding on to it. They put a 12-1 run on you midway early on, really, in the second half. That would have rattled a lot of teams. Like you said, it's a great building to play in. It seats a little over 8,000, but boy, it sounded like 18,000 in there. You guys just went about your business.
Yeah, no, we really weathered the storm. We're kind of, I guess I would say we're a team. We've had a lot of guys that have played in loud buildings. It's not the first time we've been in an environment like that. Obviously, it always makes it a little bit tougher playing on the road than at home. It's not like you ever get completely used to it, but I would say there was no panic in everything that we were doing. And, they cut it to 5 there, but I hit Peyton. He makes a huge 3. I think he makes another one there soon after, and then, Chris had the layup. I hit a 3, like all those things and we just kind of like slowly put the game away. And I think it was just like a lot of veterans making plays and guys that weren't afraid of the moment.
Kind of go back to that a little bit. When a guy gets hot like that, like Sanford, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. Let's get him the ball back again. But also Peyton was moving well, it looked like to me. He was calling for the basketball.
Yeah, he was. That's a great point. He's always moving. Like in practice, he's one of those guys. He doesn't really ever get tired. He kind of just runs around, and he's constantly back cutting, moving off screens. Kind of like if you're driving, he's relocating. He's always on the move, and that's what makes him hard to guard. So if he really heats up like that, we know it doesn't take him long to get it off. So once he gets in a spot where he's making shots, you just got to find him, and that thing, it's going in.
Connor, the Rutgers defense was well advertised heading into yesterday's game. It's a team that should have been 4-0 had it not been for the missed call in the Ohio State game where the guy was out of bounds, came in, hit a 3, and beat Rutgers at the buzzer. You would have been playing a 4-0 team. 3-1's pretty good, though, but they hang their hat on defense, and yet it was Iowa's defense that held serve for the entire day. What was the defensive game plan, particularly on Cam Spencer, because you know how he can shoot?
Yeah, no, he can really shoot it. And I would say like the biggest thing defensively was player recognition, knowing who is where against the zone, especially being able to say like, okay, where's Spencer at all times? Where's Mag? Where's McConnell? And recognizing who's out there, even like somebody like Hyatt, that he can make some shots. But the biggest key to cap off everything would be the rebounding from the zone. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think that's the difference in the game, because when you're playing a team like Rutgers and you play zone, you don't really expect to out-rebound them because it's so hard to rebound out of the zone, but we did. And I would say that was the key in capping off all of our defensive possessions.
Bobby, one more from you?
Yeah, I want to ask you about Philip Abracha. I mean, this guy, nobody in the Big Ten is playing better than Philip on both ends of the court, the way the guy rebounds and the efficiency that he plays with. You and he are the two captains this year, the two veterans on the team. Talk about your co-captain there, Philip, a little bit.
He's just playing unbelievably hard right now. He's tough, and he doesn't get tired. He's relentless on the glass. He can score on anybody. He's just playing at a really high level right now. And I'm, obviously happy we have him. I didn't realize this, but he's like leading the Big Ten in offensive rebounds, I think. So at least close. It's like 3 a game, which is unreal. Obviously we know going into the games we got a weapon like him. We just got to find him. And we're glad we got him.
And now you got Michigan coming in. Hunter Dickinson on Thursday night, 3 consecutive home games for the Hawks. Sitting there close to 500. Of course, it starts and ends with Hunter. He's well documented. He's a tenacious competitor. It'll be he and Phillip battling inside. But quick word about Michigan before we let you go, Connor McCaffery.
Yeah, Michigan. I mean, obviously everybody knows Hunter, right? But they have a lot of pieces, and they're really talented. They're kind of young and a little bit inexperienced, and that's why I'd say their record is what it is, being only 9-6. But like they're not a 9-6 team. Like they can beat anybody on any given night because they really have some guys that can. I mean, Jet Howard, freshman, really good, probably going to be a first round pick. They start a freshman point guard who's really talented. They got freshmen that come in off the bench that play big minutes for them, Terrace Reed. And you kind of go down the line and you just look at all their guys. Like there's a lot of different ways they can hurt you. So we got to be ready to go, and obviously locked in on Hunter from the start.
A week ago, as we sat here, Connor, you come back from a tough loss, great comeback against Penn State, and then you had the Indiana comeback. Didn't get off to a really good start, but how'd you guys get it flipped around so quick?
I think we've just been playing with a little bit more edge, and that started in practice, kind of honestly after the Eastern Illinois game. I thought we were having some pretty good practices leading up to now, for the most part, give or take 1 or 2 days. But it's just been intense and very competitive, playing with some swag, playing with some edge, trying to get game reps every single day. And I think that's a huge key to what we've been doing. And the only way we're going to continue is if we keep going with that same type of swag.
Get back to your watch party tonight. Thanks, Connor, for your time, bud. We'll see you on Thursday.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Connor McCaffery, captain of the Hawkeye basketball team. Appreciate Connor joining us for a few minutes tonight. He's watching that Georgia TCU game, and our U.S. Bank scoreboard update shows the Bulldogs out in front 10-7 of Council Bluffs native Max Duggan and the Horned Frogs from TCU. Appreciate Connor breaking away for a little bit of insight on yesterday, recap, and certainly some insight on Hunter Dickinson in Michigan. By the way, that's an early game now on Thursday night, 6 o'clock tip-off, so Bobby and I will greet you on the Hawkeye Radio Network at 5 o'clock. For tonight, we're at the Hyatt Regency, Coralville's Edgewater Bar and Grill with Hawk Talk and Coach McCaffery, where you can enjoy extended happy hour until 8:30. Come and try their brand new menu and enjoy nightly specials, including $2 Michelob draft beers, half-off glasses of select wines, buy one, get one free, or get one half off, appetizers and sandwiches. Each time you come to the show, you'll be entered into the hotel's drawing to win a range of prizes, including a free room night giveaway each week. All entries will be pulled together for a grand prize drawing at the end of the season. Thank you, Hyatt Regency, to Matt and his staff for hosting us here each and every week on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. And the head coach joins us in just a minute as we talk about yesterday's big win on the road at Rutgers and take a look at the Michigan Wolverines. That's ahead on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I thank you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering one line for $29.99 a month with unlimited data. That's right, one line, unlimited data for just $29.99 a month per line. Even just one line. Because the only way to make the greatest gift of all even greater is not having to add more lines than you need to get it. Visit us in-store or online to get one line for $29.99 a month with unlimited data today. U.S. Cellular, locally grown connection. Limited time offer, terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help you make them. Whether it's hauling presents in a capable Ridgeline, going sledding in an adventurous Pilot, or traveling in a rugged Passport or CR-V. Make memories during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer.
New Hondas are arriving daily at your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
See dealer for financing details.
And tonight's Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency Coralville Edgewater Bar and Grill is sponsored by Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, and Bud Light. Bud Light proudly welcomes Hawkeye fans to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Bud Light is for the fans, and we want you all out at Carver Hawkeye Arena for an early tip coming up Thursday night at 6 o'clock when Iowa and Michigan get together. More on that in just a little bit, but right now the head coach of the Hawkeyes, Fran McCaffery, joins us. Congratulations on a great win, both ends of the floor yesterday, Fran. I thought the defense was equally impressive to the offense.
Yeah, that's a unique game plan when you play Rutgers. They have, I think, a really good collection of pieces that can really defend. So they're going to be physical. They're going to be connected. When you have Big Cliff back there protecting the rim, that's an issue. But they're big. Like McConnell 6'7", Mulcahy is 6'7", Mag is 6'7". They're all athletic. And they added the kid Spencer, transfer from Loyola, who averaged 19 points a game in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. 45% three-point shooter. Big steals guy, fits very well to their scheme, both offensively and defensively. So, they're going to really put pressure on you at half court. They're going to be in your space. They're going to be contesting the next pass. But what they're doing a lot more this year than they've done in the past. They did some, but they're pressing a lot more.
Notice that.
They gave some teams. It was funny. I was texting back and forth with Steve Forbes. Wake Forest. Steve does a great job at Wake Forest. They beat Duke. They beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin in the Challenge. They're having a terrific season. They went up to Rutgers and got clipped by about 20 or 22. And they struggle with the press. They'll go. It's really an extended 1-3-1, but it kind of looks like a 1-2-1-1 because they're on the ball, and they'll go off the free throw line or they'll go dead balls. Then they'll come back with a 2-2-1, and once you start picking your dribble up or going side to side, then they really go after you with traps. So our plan was to go north and south and try to go right through it. And you can do that when you have the amount of guards that we have out there. And we've got a lot of really good ball handlers. And, I consider Chris a guard. You got Chris, Peyton, Connor, AU, Josh Dix, DeSante, Tony. So everybody that's flashing to the ball, everybody that's putting the ball on the deck can just get rid of it, and the next guy can put it on the deck and go. Sometimes, you have front court guys that are uncomfortable in traffic, and they catch it, and they look who they're going to throw it to next. Well, that's exactly what they want. We're going. And we blew that thing up pretty quickly. So now, they weren't creating any turnovers with their pressure, which they did against Wake. I think Wake had like 23 turnovers. And they're an incredibly well-coached team with really good guards. They were, like I said, literally going sideways.
Yeah.
And so it started there. And then, I think we did a really good job of moving it, and we weren't afraid to shoot it late in the clock. I think with the exception of 10 and a half to 9.5 to 9 minutes, we had a double-digit lead. and we started getting a little too tentative, I thought. And you don't start milking the clock. You don't run the clock down there. You get under 4, you have a double-digit lead. I think you can do that. In fact, you should do that. So you run motion to a set, and you come with some action. If you're in the bonus or not. Obviously, Peyton had it cooking. So we're going to him. We were calling his number. We ran all kinds of action for him, which expires into motion. So he was scoring off sets, and then they top blocked one of our sets, and he sprinted around and got a dribble handoff and hit a pull-up. A lot of guys, can make catch and shoot threes. A lot of guys drive to the basket, but the thing about Peyton is, he can pop off a screen and hit a 3. He can go shot fake, 1 dribble, pull up. He can come off a dribble handoff, take 2 hard dribbles to the free throw line and hit a pull up. When you're 6'7", when you raise up and he's got the ball way up there, you can try, but you're really not going to contest that very well. And then the other thing is, they fouled him a couple times. He's making his free throws, and he was 5 for 5, I think, for the free throw line. So, really, really a difference maker in that game. When you get a guy like that, especially coming down the stretch, you just keep going to him. And like Bobby said earlier, it's only logical. Like, who can't figure that out? But what happens a lot of times is you have a team of guys, they all want to eat too. So they don't throw him the ball. They don't screen for him. They want to shoot it. And the key for us yesterday was those guys said, wait a minute, like, we're going to ride this dude, right all the way home. And that's what the real good teams do. They understand, okay, this is the guy today. They got no answers for him. He's on fire. Get him the ball and say goodnight.
And, Coach, we talked about it in post-game comments. The practice we got to go to over there at their practice center the night before, the afternoon before, I thought was really intense and really set the tone to get their heads back on after a great victory against Indiana.
That was really a hard decision for me in some ways because, we played the late game on Thursday. Those kids walked out of the arena about 11:15, 11:30. So we fed them breakfast in the morning, and then we had practice, quote unquote practice, and then we jumped on a plane. And when we flew in Friday night, because it's a noon game on Sunday, we didn't want to leave and travel on Saturday. So
good choice.
They were still exhausted from Thursday night, so we didn't do much other than a lot of film, a lot of walk through, discuss personnel. We showed them we played them twice last year. They had a lot of guys back. So we really made a lot of teaching points. But then I felt like, okay, we have to come back on Saturday and go live. You got to guard their stuff. And they do some different, what are we going to run against their 2 different presses? And they're going to play defense a certain way. We've got to make sure that we're ready to handle that, denying the next pass and so forth. But normally, you don't practice. The practice is at 4 o'clock. You normally don't practice hard with less than 24 hours to get ready for the next day. So we practice from 4 to 5:45 hard.
Good.
And we played at noon the next day, which is less than 24 hours, like I said. But I just felt like we had to do that and experience what it was going to be like. And so it definitely benefited us tremendously. And I thought the guys responded, on Saturday in preparation for Sunday.
Yeah, I loved them. They were all working up a sweat. And Courtney Eldridge had the scout. He was working his scout team. Those guys, Tristan was inside banging bodies in there with Phillip and really got them ready to go.
Got them ready. Courtney's really intense. That's how he was as a player. So he wasn't messing around. He was not. He was into it. And like you said, Bobby, the scout team has to legitimately prepare you to play the next opponent. We're not
Learn
going
those
through
plays.
We're not going through the motions, So when Courtney puts the offense in, you got to run these plays properly. And you have to have a sense. Okay, if you take this away, they're going to go there. Then the other thing you have to do is simulate. Okay, so if Carter Kingsbury is, if he's Mulcahy or if he's McConnell, all right, you're not trying to just go do something. Okay, what are they going to do? Are they shooting step back jumpers? Are they ripping and driving? Is he a driver? Is he a catch and shoot guy? Is he a post up guy? So if you're Cliff, is he going over his left shoulder? Is he going over his right shoulder? Is he a Sigma rip guy? What is he? So Riley was really trying to simulate Cliff, and did a really good job of it. But they all did, every one of them. Luke Luqueta, everybody.
At halftime yesterday, when Bobby was visiting with Courtney down in the tunnel, okay, what do you got to do the second half? Courtney, keep rebounding. Keep rebounding. And that was so apparent in the first half. You outboard them by 2 at the end. And I know that's always at the top of your grease board, but it's easier said than done.
You typically don't win if you don't out-rebound the other team. If you get, it can be a couple here or there, but if you get out-rebounded by like 7 or 8 rebounds, you're probably not going to win unless you're making a ton of threes. For them, they have running offensive rebounders, Mag, Hyatt, and Cliff. What they do, and so does Mulcahy and McConnell, they box you out when they're on offense. So when that shot goes, they get inside position, and they'll either put it back or they'll turn around. They shoot a 3, turn around, throw it, kick it out, hit another 3, shoot another 3. So we were ready to really battle them on the glass and not allow them running rebounders. Now the difference is we ended up playing more zone than we thought we were going to play. We played it really well. If you guys remember last year, we played primarily man-to-man down there, but the tournament game, we played a lot of zone. A lot of 12, 1-2-2 back to our 2-3 zone. And the guys were really connected. There was very few mistakes, because they were doing a good job moving the ball and overloading it and flashing high and skip opposite. And what Cliff will do is he'll post the zone. So if you work on double teams, like you're going to double team him, well, what do you do if they throw it to him in the zone? You're going to double him? Well, if you're going to double him in man, why wouldn't you double him in zone? Because he's a handful one-on-one. He's as big and strong and long and athletic as a guy there is in the country that we're going to face. And there's a bunch of them in our league.
Yeah.
We just played one the game before, Trace Jackson Davis. So Cliff is a different athlete. He is a different level guy.
Getting better over the years, too. I remember when we first saw him, he was raw.
He was raw, but they knew they had something special.
Yeah.
He led the nation in dunks last year. Yeah. I think he's first or second right now. He just dunks everything. So if he's within 5 feet of the basket, normally you got to get closer. Not him. He just
stretches
whips
out,
his arm around like Space Jam.
Bobby made a great comment to start the show tonight, Coach. You may have heard it, but we're talking and raving as usual about Philip Rebrach's effort and performance. That spin move or
first
baseline move, first possession, I think it was. He gets a foul on Cliff. That was huge. That doesn't show up in the stats.
No, he's thinking about, I can't get my second, so I don't want to get my third. Because he can legitimately be like a goalie.
Yeah.
When you're trying to drive to the basket, he's going to contest everything, and he plays at an incredibly high energy level. Like a lot of big guys, they play in spurts. They don't run all the time. They don't contest all the time. They don't guard ball screens correctly all the time. And I think that goes back to what you just said, Bobby, a minute ago, when it comes to being efficient and being experienced as opposed to being raw. What you're saying is they're making inexperienced mistakes, committing fouls because you're late to the party. You're not guarding ball screens correctly. And you're getting ripped and driven on by quick guys. And he's a guy that can impact and dominate the game all by himself. And Philip did not allow him to do that. I would say if you were going to analyze that game, Philip outplayed him, I would say.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it wasn't like Cliff was bad. Like Cliff is coming. Yeah. Like he's a competitor. I love that guy.
He really is.
But Philip, again, I forgot to take him out.
I was going to ask you, 40 minutes last night, and Chris had 40 the night before?
We got a media coming in about another minute and a half.
Yeah, hang in there.
Hang in there.
Pick your tongue up there, put it back in your mouth. But
no, he didn't get tired,
As you say, they like to play.
They don't want to come out.
They want to play.
They don't want to come out.
They want to play. Well, we have to take a break.
Okay.
We have to come out for just a minute out of the lineup, Coach. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery will continue in just a minute from the Hyatt Regency, Coralville's Edgewater Bar and Grill. When we come back, not only will we get Fran's Club Car Wash keys to a victory over Michigan on Thursday, but we'll go to your Facebook and Twitter posts and have the coach answer some of your questions directly. This is Hawk Talk from the Edgewater Bar and Grill with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering any phone, any brand, any storage for free for everyone, new and current customers. Plus, our price protection guarantee means your rates won't go up. Because locally grown connection is the gift that keeps on giving. Visit us in-store or online to get any phone, any brand, any storage free today. U.S. Cellular, locally grown connection. Limited time offer, terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now, kids can eat free.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach Fran McCaffery from the Hyatt Regency, Coralville's Edgewater Bar and Grill. I'm Gary Dolphin. Bobby Hansen joins us as usual. And keep those Facebook and Twitter posts coming. We'll get to those in just a minute. We're brought to you tonight by U.S. Cellular, bringing locally grown connections all season long with any phone free for new and current customers. That's right, any phone free of charge from U.S. Cellular. U.S. Bank scoreboard update finds Georgia on top 24-7 over TCU on the national championship collegiate football game. Coach, Georgia plays great defense. It's going to be tough to score 24 points on that defense.
Well, their offense looks pretty good to me, though.
Yeah. It does look pretty good.
They scored 24 pretty quick.
Already. What are we still in the first quarter? Just close.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I mean, every time they get the ball, they score.
Well, don't sell Max Duggan short, but I don't know that they're going to outscore Georgia with that Bulldog defense.
That one drive, I thought when they came, so when Georgia takes it right through them, and then they fumble in the red zone and hold them to 3, and they come right back and score immediately to go to 10-7. I think, all right, maybe we got a shot here if you're TCU. But then all of a sudden they turn around and put 14 more up.
Yeah, that's
and they're running, they're throwing. I mean, they just keep moving the ball. They can't stop them.
Well, it's 24-7 right now, and I guess the good news is it's still in the first quarter if you're a TCU fan. So hang in there. Max Duggan.
And they got the ball.
So
let's go
for
let's go 24. Let's go 24-14. We'll take it from there.
It's like last week against Indiana. Take it 1 minute,
exactly.
3 minutes at a time, as Connor McCaffery said. Coach, on Twitter, Cyhawk says, I don't know if his allegiance is both Iowa and Iowa State, but anyway, is there anything different you did or said to help break Peyton Sanford out of his recent shooting lull? And what is the most effective way for a shooter to break out of a slump?
Well, the number one thing is you got to keep shooting. You're not going to break out of a slump if you get tentative. He's a guy that he knows he's a great shooter. And he knows we're going to run stuff for him. He knows we're going to play him. He knows I'm not going to say anything to him. I'm not going to yank him. I'm never going to say that's a bad shot. You know, when you have a guy like that, you want him to have the mindset, it's a great shot because I took it. Right? No doubt, you know, I always say, trust your talent. And Connor made a really good evaluation of him. Like, he's not one of those run around, stand still shooters. He curl cuts, he back cuts, he offensive rebounds, tips it in, driving kick. So he'll, you know, a lot of shooters don't make plays for anybody else. It just screen for me, and I'll shoot it in the hole for you. The thing I loved about Jordan Bohannon, one of the best shooters to ever play college basketball, as you know, a lot of teams would sell out on him. So they would basically double him on ball screen action, and they would attach to his hip and give no help, and then try to deny as best they could. And as soon as they would do that, he would immediately become a screener, because now that screen is a double screen, as the guy's on his hip. Mm-hmm. He would just screen for Cook, screen for Garza, screen for Wieskamp, and one of the best screeners, you know, that's ever worn the Hawkeye uniform. And that's just basketball intellect. Because a motion offense is going to, if you want to guard Bohannon like that and he starts screening, everybody's going to be open. And then what happens is that loosens it up, and then all of a sudden he's open.
Yeah.
And he knows that. So, you know, the thing for Peyton is just keep being a player, and it'll all work out for you. I mean, like I said this on the show. I mean, he didn't miss a shot from June to November. You know, and he had some really good games for us. He had a couple where he didn't shoot it as well, and he got a little down on himself and was frustrated. But we just kept grinding. You know, he would come in, he would get extra. That's what the practice gym's there for. He'd come in and get extra shots up. He'd work with Tristan, or we'd get the student managers to rebound for him and just get comfortable again. And he's in a groove right now.
He sure is. Tim, on Twitter, Coach, some coaches feel that rebounding suffers when using a zone. How do you teach blocking out responsibilities, and how do you and the staff determine when to use it?
Well, he's right with that question, because a lot of coaches won't play it for that reason. When I worked at Notre Dame for John McLeod, who came from the NBA, where there is zone now, but there wasn't then. He hated zone, and all he would say is, I don't like the fact that there's no direct blockout responsibilities. Guys just come flying in and get rebounds. We're not playing it. So what you do is you got to find people. Now, you have a lot of players today, like I just mentioned, the two wings, Mag and Hyatt in particular, but McConnell and Mulcahy for Rutgers. We call them running rebounders. So they're beyond the three-point line. When that shot goes, they just go running, and they'll either try to grab it or tip it. So you got to find them. Now, the other thing is, you know, there's a lot of guys, and you know, we don't teach blocking out like we used to. You know, reverse pivot, H up. You know, how many times did you see like a 6'9" guy blocking a guy out, and a 6'3" guy runs in front of him and grabs the ball.
Sneaks in underneath.
But he
his
did a great
armpit.
job blocking out. He just scored. So, it's more of a tag and pursue.
Okay.
Stop your run, get inside of you, go get the ball. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people, I've said this over the years. John Wooden, one of the best coaches that ever lived, he never taught blocking out. He told his guys, don't block out. Go get the ball.
Go get the ball.
Now, I guess when you have Lou Alcindor,
Jabbar,
later Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, Steve Patterson, Sidney Wicks, Curtis Rowe, I guess you can say that. Not everybody had those guys. When Swen Nader is your backup center.
Yeah, I mean, every guy you just mentioned, there's not one of them under 6'8" or 6'7".
They're all like phenomenal athletes. And I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the thing about him, I mean, he was such a great scorer. He was a tough dude now. He was a nasty dude.
He sure
was. He was a fierce competitor.
He was.
And you didn't mess with him.
And Walton was like he's on a pogo stick all the time. He just kept jumping straight up and down.
It would have been interesting to see how good he would have been. I mean, he's still a Hall of Famer, but if his knees didn't go on him.
Yeah.
Because he was really a modern day. He was a 6'11" guy that could play point guard. He could bring it down and pass. In those days, we didn't shoot threes in those days because there was no three-point line. Why would you? Why are you shooting a 20-footer?
Go get the ball. Bobby, I'm trying to remember. Walton, was he gone before you started?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you guys played against each other.
Yeah, I remember watching, Clippers were still in San Diego back in '83 when I joined. We had an exhibition game down there, and he had bad feet, so he was out there trying to recover.
That's right, it wasn't his knees, it was his feet.
Yeah, but he had the individual workout that he did, and that high release, way up high, and phenomenal pattern. Smart. Bill was a smart, really smart basketball player. Good guy. Got to know him a little bit when he was in Boston with McHale. We had the same agent, so knew those guys a little bit. Ran into Bill at a concerts one time in Des Moines, but he just one of the all-time great players in college basketball. What was he in the 14 or 15 in the national championship?
I didn't think he missed a shot in the
14 or
national
14,
championship game.
yeah.
Was that Memphis?
Maybe it was one. Maybe you're right.
Was that Memphis? I'm trying
Could
to
have been. That was
who they were.
Memphis State at the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Barry
Right.
Keenan and those guys.
Yeah. He had more
him.
offensive rebounds that night than an entire team. He just go get it, and he had the long arms.
Yeah.
Bobby, how would, to Fran's point about the zone and blocking, how would Barkley and Malone and Jordan
Tag
Pippen,
and go get it?
How would they attack?
I never saw Carl block out or Scotty block out. It was just put a forearm in your chest. That's the tag part of it. And then
go get it.
Go find the ball. Yeah, Rodman especially. That guy was, go from one side of the court to the other to go get it. But that's what you want. That's what you want out of your guys. And that's what I see out of the Hawkeyes. I see everybody just kind of go get the ball because this season is going to come down to how can we rebound. We're a little undersized in there. Everybody's got to help out, all five guys. And yet you want to run. You want to get out and go. So that's the beauty of this team.
Somehow I can't visualize Bill Laimbeer turning around. Okay, where's my guy so I could block
your
him out?
backside in him, huh?
No,
you get chopped down.
He was another nasty dude.
Oh, and Mahorn right next to him.
Yeah,
I got a scar on my face from
Rick Mahorn.
one of the times.
And that's when fighting was legal.
Yeah, that was encouraged.
Of course, Bill got punched more, I think, than he punched.
Yeah,
because everybody wanted to punch him.
It was open game.
Laimbeer and Rodman on the same team. Now, there's something unfair about that.
I'm reading a book, The Dream Team. Chuck Daly's the coach, and I'm about halfway through it.
Rodman loved Chuck Daly.
Oh, yeah. He sounds like an awesome guy. I shared a limo with him, and we talked about Jordan rules going to with him and his wife. We were going over to Jordan's first retirement together, and I just quizzed him a little bit on what are the Jordan rules, and double team him, triple team him, where there's certain spots on the floor. Left foot's always his pivot foot, so you crowd him up in there. And Joe Dumars would play him as tough as anybody.
Joe was a tough dude,
too.
Another good one. You don't play in the NBA unless you're a tough dude.
Yeah.
I mean, one way or the other. And would you play 9 years?
Played 9. Never thought I'd get past the first week, though, when I went in there. But maybe that was the key. Just go do it. I was lucky I had a guy that liked me, though, Frank Layden in Utah. And I was cheap.
That's a good point. Yeah,
and there's a team that needed help. So
Frank from New York, right?
Brooklyn. Yeah, Frank's awesome. Yeah, we had Adrian Dantley, leading scorer in the league at that time. And you talk about a guy getting hot and loading up. He'd just give you that look like, give me the ball.
Give me the ball. Great memories.
Score. Great D.
Yeah.
AD.
I was telling Al, he had a
Notre
play.
Damer.
If we needed a point, Rich Kelly would be at the high post, and Dantley would be the lone guy inside, block to block, and he would just start walking to the other block and then reverse pivot, give him the ball, and it's like automatic.
He scored like 25,000 points, didn't he?
Yeah, AD. Didn't say much, but
No.
he was certainly one of the all-time
He was a
greats
Notre
as
Dame
well.
guy. He'd come around once in a while. He was quiet. But class act, yeah.
Who was your greatest teammate? You had to pick one.
No, well, that's hard. I mean, the guys in Chicago were all awesome. Yeah. Bill Cartwright. I've been only there 1 year, but guys I still talk to today: Stockton, Malone, Rich Kelly, was one of those all-time great guys from Stanford. Richie, but Mark Eaton before he passed away, we were very close.
All good names, good guys.
Yeah.
So, Coach Marcus wants to know, who was the best player you ever played against back when you were a player?
Well, when I played in the ACC, there was a lot of them. Larry Nance was at Clemson. Phil Ford was the point guard at North Carolina, and that was 1977. In 76, he was the point guard on the Olympic team that won the gold medal. So, went from being a high school kid watching the gold medal game, the next year I was guarding him. He was the National Player of the Year. Albert King was at at Maryland. I mean, you go through every one of those teams. Gene Banks was from my home. We were, my senior year, he was the Public League Player of the Year. I was the Catholic League Player of the Year. We were really good friends. And he was the #1 ranked player in America. Magic Johnson was too. And he went to Duke and played with Jimmy Spanarkel and Mike Jaminski. So we played those guys. I played those guys. They went to the national championship game in '78. So that league was loaded. Virginia had Jeff Lamp. I mean, every team had a guy.
ACC.
But we used to work the Maryland basketball campus playing against John Lucas and SD3, Sherman Douglas Dillard III.
SD3.
Sherman could really play. And he went to James Madison back when nobody knew that James Madison existed.
Other than
from Harrisonburg, Virginia. He was a president at one time. There was a school in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and he played for Lou Campanelli and Mike Fratello. They were his coaches.
Sherman told me he had 45 one time. And I saw it somewhere as an anniversary where he had 45, and he's like, we were playing against somebody. And I said, 45 is 45.
Well, he was a terrific athlete and a great shooter. Both. In those days, you were typically one or the other.
Yeah, good combination.
He was both.
Yeah, he looks like an athlete now.
Yeah,
he still does.
He's one of those guys. He probably
he
was born too soon. If there was 30 teams, he'd have been playing. He'd have been in the league 10 years.
Yeah.
He got cut. It was like 24 teams then.
Sherman works out 3 times a day. He's in as good a shape as anybody I've ever seen. So
he works out once for me too. So
yeah, me too,
and me 3. Got great reminiscing. We'll get back to present day and get Fran's keys to the game. Michigan coming in for a 6 o'clock tip on Thursday night. Pre-game coverage starts at 5 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We're brought to you tonight from the Edgewater Bar and Grill inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's River Landing by Iowa Corn. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn. And those connections translate into victories for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using hashtag Iowans win. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here at the top of the hour on our Monday Night Hawk Talk. 10-second ID break. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach Fran McCaffery. We'll return with more Hawk Talk. We're here until 8:30 tonight. Come on out and join us. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering one line for $29.99 a month with unlimited data. That's right, one line, unlimited data for just $29.99 a month per line. Even just one line. Because the only way to make the greatest gift of all even greater is not having to add more lines than you need to get it. Visit us in-store or online to get one line for $29.99 a month with unlimited data today. U.S. Cellular. Locally grown connection. Limited time offer. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spot & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spot & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spot & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spot & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Back to Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Iowa River Landing. We're at the Edgewater Bar and Grill. We're here each and every, mostly Monday nights. There'll be maybe a Tuesday night show depending on the Big Ten schedule going forward for the Hawkeyes, and we'll get Coach McCaffery's comments on Michigan in just a minute. But we've got Melissa here in the audience with us tonight, Coach. And Melissa would like to know what upcoming changes do you foresee with the current transfer portal regulations, and do you support having the transfer portal?
No, I've been opposed to it from the beginning. I thought it was really foolish, coupling the transfer portal with NIL. And anybody who thought that wouldn't create pay-for-play was absolutely delusional. By all means, I'm 100% behind NIL. Mm-hmm. Players should be able to profit from their name, image, and likeness, but they should not be able to be free agents at any point in time and go shopping for money.
How do they rein that in?
Well, I think what's going to happen, Bobby, is this. This goes back to Melissa's question. I think the players are going to have to collectively bargain. You're an NBA player. I think they're going to have to be considered union employees, collectively bargain, and I think revenue share with the incredible dollars generated by TV. We should have included them a long time ago. Yep. When the numbers got to where they got to, and that was evident in the Supreme Court case. You know, when the NCAA wanted to keep the rules the way they were and fought hard to keep it that way and lost 9-0. There's not a lot of 9-0 verdicts in the Supreme Court. You can't say you're not a profit-making entity when you're talking about billions. So where does it go from here? There's going to be changes. But what has to happen is we're in the process of rewriting the entire rule book for the NCAA and figuring out who is in charge. Because there were so many lawsuits recently essentially the NCAA was rendered powerless in terms of being able to govern. So the president of the NCAA retired. We're going to get a new one, and we're going to figure out what the rules are going to be. But what we have to do is hold people accountable to follow those rules. Because right now, that's not happening. You said, oh, it's the Wild Wild West. Oh, that's funny. No, it's not funny. That's what it is. It's the Wild Wild West. So, you go get a team, I go get a team, and we'll play. How you get them, what you pay them,
It's what it is now.
It's the way it is. And that's not what it should. That's not what it's supposed to be. That's legitimately against NCAA rules. So,
but who's enforcing that? To your point,
nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
So, at what point players unionizing? What about coaches all coming together? And do you guys ever get in the same room?
We only get in the same room. Well, we do once a year at the Final Four. You have a Division I head coaches meeting. And then, of course, at the Big Ten meetings, the Big Ten coaches get together. Yeah. So we talk about a lot of things. And there's obviously going to be a lot of differing opinions. I'm all for our guys getting paid. I want them to be able to profit in any way that they can. Like my own boys have a podcast. And we have guys doing commercials. We have guys that sell merchandise. Used to be, as you recall, I remember they used to sell Devin Marble and Matt Gaten's jerseys. Yeah. And they didn't get a dime from it. And that's not right. And so eventually that changed. But the transfer portal had no vision whatsoever. No.
What was the reason? Afraid of a lawsuit?
That, and, I think for many, many years, all of the rules, and my wife is a law school graduate at University of Notre Dame, she always said, this is going to turn around because all of the rules as they're written benefited the institution. None of them favored the student athlete. So they wanted to give more leeway to the student athlete and say, what if a kid wants to transfer? He shouldn't have to sit out. Well, I've argued, that wasn't really a penalty because you kept the year on the back end. You got an extra year of scholarship. You got an extra year of eligibility. You got an extra year to lift. Where's the penalty there? And if you allow them to play right away, they're going to leave. The minute they're not in the starting lineup, every August, whoever's the backup quarterback leaves, right? In football, I'm not starting. I'm out. The idea of we're going to stay and compete, and I'm going to carve a niche, and I'm going to eventually beat that guy out, or I'm going to play a different position or whatever. Guys just want to leave. But now guys are happy, but leaving to get more money. That's not what that was supposed to be. It was supposed to, because the rule for every other sport, with the exception of football, men's basketball, ice hockey, and baseball. Because baseball just changed recently because it used to be really bad. I remember when I was at UNCG, our starting right fielder was the best player in the SoCon. And the next year he was the starting right fielder at Miami. And he played right away. So guys were
he could just jump them.
Recruiting from your team. Well, that's what's happening now. You have mid-major coaches now recruiting kids, and the kid has a really good year, and he's like, I think I'm going to put my name in the portal. Saying to kids, listen, stay for another year, be the player of the year in our league, and I'll help you find a Power 5 school to go play for. Just begging to keep the kid for 2 years. I had great players at UNCG and Siena. They all stayed for 4 years. I had 3 players of the year on the same team. When we had 27 wins and beat Ohio State in the tournament, I'm not sure we'd have better players. But they were all older. Yeah. Well, now you got 24 and 25-year-olds playing.
2,500 athletes in the transfer portal as of this weekend. And
Coach, is this something that you incorporate into your recruiting plan?
Well, you have to, but to be honest, you got to have a salary cap. You got to have money.
Yeah.
You can go to the portal and make phone calls and invite kids to visit and offer them a scholarship, but you got to pay them.
Well, the NCAA convention starts tomorrow, and this transformation.
I don't think I'm going to be invited to speak. I'm not on the agenda.
I'm just looking. I don't see your
name.
name.
Don't see my name, no?
Not on the D1 Transformation Committee that has delivered its wide-ranging.
Don't go online either. It won't help you.
So who opens that convention up? I mean, they need a guy like Kevin Warren. I love Kevin Warren, our Big Ten.
Kevin Warren's the best.
Yeah.
He is the absolute best. And I will say this, and I don't mean to disparage in any way Danny Gavitt.
Yeah, Danny too. Yeah.
Danny Gavitt, what he did a couple of years ago to make sure that we got the NCAA tournament in. We were all in the bubble, and that was great. It was weird. We're down in the bubble, and they're leaving your food at the door.
Yeah, please.
You weren't. My family was down there, and I wasn't allowed to see them. We were under house arrest.
You were. You were.
They let us out and went to a courtyard, literally a courtyard. We were surrounded by a fence.
I saw you out in the baseball field.
That was so much fun. That was really the only time they let us out. And they were playing wiffle ball.
Were the officials out there too, or did you get to know them?
Well, remember a bunch of officials got sick.
That's right.
They went to St. Elmo's, and they sent them home. They all got COVID.
Had a bad shrimp cocktail.
There's a great plug for
we got St. Elmo's food delivered to the hotel.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
that's a plus.
That's it. You can't go wrong with there.
We got to take a break.
It's like the NBA bubble. I mean, I don't know how they kept those guys alive outside the bubble.
Coach will have his Club Car Wash keys to the game when we come back here from the Edgewater Bar and Grill in the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
U.S. Cellular has always believed that connection is the greatest gift of all. That's why we're offering any phone, any brand, any storage for free for everyone, new and current customers. Plus, our price protection guarantee means your rates won't go up. Because locally grown connection is the gift that keeps on giving. Visit us in-store or online to get any phone, any brand, any storage free today. U.S. Cellular, locally grown connection. Limited time offer, terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spot & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spot & Rose visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spot & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spot & Rose, buy easier, build better.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help you make them. Whether it's hauling presents in a capable Ridgeline, going sledding in an adventurous Pilot, or traveling in a rugged Passport or CR-V. Make memories during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer.
New Hondas are arriving daily at your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
See dealer for financing details.
College football playoff championship game on tonight at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. And it is all number one Georgia. The Bulldogs up on TCU 38-7 and a little under a minute to go in the first half. So things not going well for Max Duggan and TCU tonight as the Bulldogs are rolling up. I know I saw at least 2 interceptions. I'm not sure how many turnovers in that game, but we'll keep you posted on that our remaining minutes. Celebrate Valentine's Day this year with your sweetheart here at the Hyatt Regency Coralville's Edgewater Grill. Their chefs have put together a special 4-course meal for 2 featuring your choice of appetizer, salad, entree, and dessert. The entree choices include seared Chilean sea bass. My mouth is watering just thinking about Chilean sea bass. Grilled Berkshire pork chop or a filet mignon. Finish the night with your dessert choice of either warm apple crepes or mocha cappuccino mousse. This dinner for 2 is just $99, includes a bottle of champagne for the couple. Make your reservation by calling the Edgewater Grill at 319-541-0638. 319-541-0638. Sumptuous at the Hyatt Regency Edgewater Grill. All right, Coach McCaffery, let's get into Fran's Club Car Wash keys to the game. Michigan comes in Thursday night with unlimited membership starting at just $20 a month. There's no better time to join the club. Club Car Wash. Visit clubcarwash.com to find a location nearest you. Well, it starts with Hunter Dickinson, another great post player in our league, Fran.
He's a handful. I mean, he's really, I think, advanced his game as well. I really liked him in high school. We recruited him hard. And he's a tremendous low post scorer. But what he's done is he's become a much better passer and a much better perimeter jump shooter. So his versatility is way more difficult to defend. And the other thing is he's a nasty dude. You know,
he'll get in your face.
Yeah, he's ready to fight everybody. I love that about him. I mean, he's a great kid off the floor. I mean, really, it's funny to talk to, but when the game starts, you know, he competes. I'll tell you who's really special is Jet Howard, Jawan's son. I mean, Jace is really good too. They're different, but Jet's hooping this year. He's really hooping. But Buffkin is taking his game to another level. I mean, they've got a number of different pieces that he can utilize. They have Williams is really good. I mean, they've got some veteran guys. The transfer kid, I think Llewellyn from Princeton, is hurt.
He is.
And the kid Duke
Baker,
he's bullet quick. He's really good. So a little different than last year's team. You know, you had Houston and Diabate. Those guys went pro. A couple guys graduated. But, you know, Juwan, he knows what he's doing. You know, they run some really good stuff. You know, they run a little bit, but they run some really good sets. They run some actions that are difficult to defend. You know, pretty sophisticated, as you would expect, with his background in pros and all the guys he played for and worked for. You know, so you got your hands full when you play these guys.
What's impressed me is you mentioned the new names. Hunter has stayed. He could have left a couple times, and he loves college basketball. He loves the environment.
He does. I'm sure he's got some good NIL situations at Michigan. And I agree. I think he'll play in the league. I think he can play in the league. You know, you have that. Well, does this game, the same thing we ran into with Luka, does this game translate to the NBA? Because all the centers in the NBA now are like Cliff Amuri. You know, they're long arm. You know, Tyler Cook's a center when he's on an NBA roster. You know, we were trying to make him a 3-4. He's always a 4. I always a 3-4-5, but he plays mostly 5 in the pros because he can switch and guard. You know, not everybody can guard Ja Morant on a switch. Unless you have a weapon.
I haven't seen anybody guard.
I mean, that guy,
Joe Morant.
He's just too fast. He's too powerful. Like you can't keep him in front of you. And he's relentless.
Great shooter.
And he'll one step and he's punching it on your head. So the traditional throwback centers that were so good years ago, they don't keep them as much. That's why I'm thrilled for Luka. He's really trimmed his body down and playing much quicker laterally and containing penetration, contesting at the rim. And offensively, the versatility in his game. What he had 13 and 15 minutes the other night, 14 and
great numbers.
He just destroys the G League. He gets like 50 every night. So I'm just thrilled for him. But Hunter, he'll make he'll figure it out, and Juwan will help him.
Coach, talk about Jet Howard a little bit more. He's just a freshman. He's a little brother to Jace, as you mentioned. I watched him the other night, and he looks NBA ready to me.
Well, he can shoot it. He's got a little wiggle, and he's big. He's like 6'8". He's got a frame. He plays with a great deal of confidence and swag, for a freshman. Like you said, you're watching a kid. Okay, there's a pro. Like, he doesn't have hesitation. You can't spell tentative. There's nothing tentative in his performance.
You can see it right away. Yeah.
Good stuff. Fran's Club Car Wash, keys to the game. Michigan, 6 o'clock Thursday night, 5 o'clock for the pregame show here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Log on to clubcarwash.com for just $20 a month. Keep that salt, snow, and grime off your vehicle this winter. Born in the heart of Iowa, Authentic Brands Premium Sportswear serves the everyday demands of small businesses and corporate America. Don't settle for less. Look, feel, and perform your best in the Authentic Brand label. Our $100 gift certificate tonight goes to Jake. What is the ruling on grabbing the rim on offensive goaltending? We thought you can't touch the rim. The officials' rule must have changed, and thanks for the great broadcast. Love the Hawkeye games on radio, and love Coach McCaffery and his Hawkeyes. Got about 30 seconds here. We could talk about that play the other night against Indiana if you'd like.
Yeah. I thought that, they really tried to do a good job of explaining what they saw or what they didn't see. The bottom line is they eventually came back and said, we probably should have called goaltending there. But it's kind of like, where exactly was the ball? When he exactly touched the rim?
Straight above the rim.
I thought it was kind of halfway down almost, but it's kind of got to be in the cylinder. But if it's above the cylinder, you can grab it. But
we looked at
it was really. It was way more complicated of an explanation than I thought it was.
Okay,
I was like, wow.
We looked at 3 replays, and the ball was coming down and approaching the rim. It was, but it was close. All of a sudden, 2 big mitts grabbed the iron.
I thought it was going to be a no-brainer, and Larry called it right away.
Yeah.
And Paul said, look, okay, let's talk about the rule and talk about exactly what did you see. And they talked it over and they decided to count the basket.
Well, thankfully it didn't hurt the Hawks in the end. But one more break to get in. We'll come in back in just a minute, wrap up this week's Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
We all love a good win, catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah, a home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning? Setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Welcome back to our remaining moments with Coach McCaffery for this week's Hawk Talk. We'll be back here next Monday night, a week from tonight, hopefully talking about a couple wins, a couple more Big Ten victories. Great announcement, great news out of Iowa today. Former Hawkeye offensive lineman Robert Gallery has been named to the College Football Hall of Fame, class of 2023. Native of Masonville, East Buchanan High School, lettered as an offensive tackle, but he came into Iowa as a tight end. If you can imagine that, Coach, you would love having Robert Gallery set picks for you on the basketball floor. Gigantic.
Well, absolutely. We're talking about getting Peyton Sanford open. That's how you do it.
He went whole team open.
Yeah.
Robert, of course, played for 8-9 years in the National Football League. Number 2 overall draft pick by the Raiders when he came out of Iowa, and he helped get it flipped for Coach Ferentz in the early 2000s. So congratulations to Robert Gallery, one of the great Hawkeyes of all time. Got just about 30 seconds left to go, Coach. Obviously, we could say the key to stopping Michigan is stopping Hunter Dickinson, but offensively, who would be the second guy you got to get covered?
Well, it would be Jett Howard, I think. Not the only one. They've got a lot of pieces, but he's really impressed me on film all year long. And the other thing is he's consistent. It's hard to be that consistent when you're a freshman.
When you're that young, indeed. We'll find out on Thursday night. Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery has been brought to you tonight by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. They've got the health insurance marketplace covered. Give it up for plans you can afford. Check out Wellmark.com. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll talk to you Thursday night from Carver Hawkeye Arena, Iowa, Michigan. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network, from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. Bud Light, it's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.